Here's a quick video that shows you some of the recent trips we've made to find gopher snakes in Utah. Hope you enjoy it. I live in northern Utah, the United States, and one of my favorite pastimes in the spring is to go out in the evenings and at nighttime and find gopher snakes on the road. Gopher snakes are one of the most common snakes in our state. They are generally larger than the other snakes in our area, and they are also pretty easy to handle, so this makes them fun targets to find and photograph. In this video, you're going to see half a dozen gopher snakes that we caught over 2 separate nights while road cruising in Utah and Tooele counties. Gopher snakes are not venomous, but they can be mistaken for the rattlesnakes in the area, especially when they're babies. I came very close once to picking up a baby rattlesnake because I was in a hurry and didn't take enough time to identify the snake before I picked it up. When they're encountered, many of them don't react, even when you pick them up. But if you give them time to get into their defensive mode, they will usually coil up, flatten their heads, open their mouths, and gape. They will also start hissing and will vibrate their tails on the ground. The hissing noise they make has caused lots of local people to call them blow snakes. Road cruising in the evening and at nighttime on spring days is an easy way to find them. It seems to be best when the nights are still relatively cool, like 60 degrees Fahrenheit or lower. The paved roads retain heat, so the snakes come out onto the warm road and lay flat to soak up the heat. But as spring turns into summer and the night times are hotter, then the snakes don't need to find a road to warm up on anymore, and so they are less commonly found while driving. Look for roads that have few cars on them and that don't have agriculture or livestock fields right next to them. The farm equipment and the livestock kill snakes, so you won't find many animals on those roads. Also, it's best to find roads that have vegetation growing up right next to the pavement. In other words, roads without shoulders. The animals feel more protected having the vegetation close by. It's pretty rare for me to be bitten by a gopher snake that we find, but the baby gopher snake at the end of the video bit both me and my son. Since the snake doesn't have a hand it can wave, it's just his way of saying hello. The snake we are releasing here was found on the road next to this abandoned field. The dead grass was so thick, the snake disappeared right under our feet, and if we hadn't seen it go under, we never would have known it was right below us. Gopher snakes generally have a light brown base color with dark brown and black saddles or blotches running down their backs, and smaller blotches on the side. Their scales are keeled, so they have a rough texture to them. That's usually a surprise for people who've not picked one up before. They're not smooth or slimy. This particular snake was my favorite from the 2 nights of hunting. The brown saddles on this one were so dark they were almost black. The result was a very high contrast animal. They feed on lizards, rodents, birds, and eggs. In fact, they are frequently found in the burrows of gophers after they've eaten the gophers. This is where they get their common name from. They also lay their eggs in the burrows. I'm sure that I've caught at least 200 gopher snakes in the past 25 years of hunting for them in Utah. We've found them while picnicking in the canyons, driving around at higher elevations, and several times I've found them while mountain biking. I've only kept one of them as a pet, but of all the snakes that you might find here, I think gopher snakes make the best pets. They feed readily on mice and small rats that you can buy from a pet store, and as I've said, they get to be pretty good sized at 4 to 5 feet long. They're very active and rarely bite if you take care of them properly. My son Nathan also made a video from our hunting trip. I'll post a link to his video down below so you can see his version of what happened those nights. Thanks for watching.